Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome in to a new episode of Snaps. If it sound a bit different, I am in the Scarlet Monastery, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube, meaning I am at home. And it is actually Monday night at the time of the recording, and I'm in the middle of packing for Disney. But because we didn't pack, till, of course, today before we're set to leave. But much to my wife's chagrin, I said, you know what? I got to go do some fucking college football takes and talk about these games coming up this weekend. I'm TBob Bear. He's Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, man?
Dude, I do appreciate you shooting the show with us tonight. That way you can just sit back, relax, enjoy Disney, eat some good food, and enjoy yourself chasing those kids.
I'll be checking in. I'll be checking in one way or another throughout the week. We're going to figure all that out. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into our game previews this week. And taking center stage for the main event, it's the Big Ten. It's Ohio State, Penn State. Two of the more legitimate contending teams in the entire country. And it's going down in Happy Valley. And it's off a Ohio State entering off of a disappointing Nebraska. I would say disappointing. I mean, you beat Nebraska, right, at home, but you did not look particularly good in doing so. Whereas Penn State, a pretty tough battle with Wisconsin that you come back and win, but you do with a backup quarterback. And I mean, as much as it sucks, so much of this conversation has to do with Drew Aller's health and whether or not he'll be able to go. And I hope he is, because this is a fascinating game, Aaron, where it features the two quarterbacks that everybody can't quite give themselves over to.
I can.
Yeah, but you're
I'm spread open. I feel I'm giving it all to both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because you're you love quarterbacks. You are always going to grade quarterbacks kindly because you're someone who knows how hard they should be played. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Anybody who
I grade them very difficult because I have high expectations.
Knows. Anyway. Yeah, that's why it's never the quarterback's fault. It's always the O-line's fault.
Or the receivers.
Or the receiver, or lack of weapons. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But the point is, regardless of what you think, the country as a whole, the college football hive mind as a whole, has not given themselves over to Will Howard or Drew Aller. And the expectations these guys have to surpass are, arguably unfair, but they are massive. And this is a game where one of them is going to go over and the other one is going to be left with some serious question marks from his fan base of the country as a whole that he's going to have to answer.
I would say more for Ohio State than Will Howard, because they already have a loss under their belt. They can't afford to lose another football game. Where if Drew goes out there and they lose the game, but he plays well, it's still only one loss for Penn State. You're still
not everything's about the playoff, though. Not everything's about the playoff. You've lost to Ohio State. James Franklin hasn't been to Ohio State since 2016. You lose in ninth year in a row.
What do we, with the beginning of the season, what do we talk about? The playoffs were made for James Franklin, Penn State. A loss does not. We all predicted that Penn State would go 11-1, lose this game. They're still in. It's all good. Drew, the way he's playing, gives them an opportunity to win this game. But let me ask you this, because I've heard this from multiple people throughout the day, that Bo, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name right now, Perblua, something along those lines. His dual threat ability in the fact that he threw the ball pretty well in one game last week against Wisconsin actually gives him the better chance to win this football game. I call BS on it, because I do believe Drew has played extremely well, and he showed me a lot in that win versus USC, the way he was able to come back from a couple mistakes. I don't believe that, but I'm going to throw it to you, the non-quarterback guy over here. Do you think the fact that Bo can run it against this defense gives them a better opportunity to win this football game, and better that gives them as a football team going forward a better chance to win?
Pribula is maybe I would say it. No, I don't think so. I think Drew Aller's played really well this year. I think Drew Aller is his first year starting last year, and for some reason we act like a guy's first year starting is like who he's going to be, when we have seen just countless examples of the leaps that people take in year number two. And not always, right? Certainly, it's kind of what I was banking on with the Jalen Milroe, and he's kind of fallen short of that. But I don't think Aller has. I think Aller's improved a lot, and that's where this game gets interesting for him. And there's a reason why Aller's been the unquestioned starter the entire time, right? It's not because Pribulo's secretly the better quarterback. That's what's going to be interesting now is that we can actually compare directly to what Drew Aller did last year in this game and use it as a point of growth. Last year, they lose 20-12. He's 18 of 42 for 191 and 1 touchdown. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, without looking at the box score, 42 runs means Penn State did not get him much support on the ground. And obviously, for any successful Penn State resume, taking advantage of that combination of backs has to be Catron and Singleton. Like that has to be at the 4, and that will work in concert with Aller. Like you have written here, Aller can help lighten the box for those guys. They can help set up play action opportunities. So I'm very interested to use a direct statistical growth where we can take that viewpoint with Aller here, and it'll be at home, which should help.
Yep. This reminds me a little bit of like what we talked about today, but this come out tomorrow. So yesterday. All that makes sense. Yesterday, with LSU being so one-dimensional, and obviously A&M really dominating on the ground. Which team in this case do you trust to run the ball more in this game? Both teams have elite running backs. Probably the two best tandems of running backs in the country are going to be in this game right now. Penn State has grown those guys up since their freshman year. Ohio State went out there and got a transfer to add to Henderson as well. Like these are two of the premier running back groups in all of college football. But one team can't run the ball though with the offense line. The other one seems to be a little bit better up front in that sense. So like, do you trust Penn State to be more than just one dimensional compared to what Ohio State has been?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, they're both really good and basically even running the ball and defending the run. I'm at the risk of maybe not knowing Penn State's O-line injury situation. I think the fact that Ohio State's down their starting and backup left tackle could maybe, and the fact that it's going to be at home, I would give maybe the slightest of edges to Penn State there.
Yeah. The good thing for Ohio State, at least, I have more confidence in them if both teams do struggle to run the football in this game. So they're going against right now. Both these defenses are the top 3 in the Big Ten in rush defense. They're both the top 2, one in number 1 and number 2 in total defense in the conference. Like these are elite defenses.
Yeah.
If running the ball is going to be a struggle in this game, at least Ohio State can rely on the pass game.
So you trust Will Howard, though. You trust Will Howard to get into elite defense. You trust Will Howard's pass game more
than
Did you
not
Penn
see what
State's
Will Howard
weapons?
Did you not see what Will Howard did on the road in Eugene with those weapons?
They had a good game.
I mean, if you don't walk away from that game in Eugene against Oregon and Oregon's defense in a hostile environment, and you can't say I don't trust Will Howard and those weapons, then I don't know what you're watching. Will Howard has proven everything this year.
That's true.
The difference is
28, 35,
the offensive line,
22 tuds.
Yes. The difference is the offense line was better 2 weeks ago when fully healthy compared to they are now. So like that's the difference. I don't question Will Howard. I don't question the receivers. Can they give them enough time? And Will Howard enough time in the pocket to be able to get the ball out to those guys is going to be the question mark. Like plain and simple. Yeah. Do you have some 7-man pros? Do you even go empty and just get the ball out of his hands quicker? But if you can protect him up, they have the best tandem of receivers in college football right now with the freshman and Ibuka.
So last year, even better than Tez and Evan Stewart.
I would take Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka over those two. Yes.
Okay. Last year, Kyle McCord went 22 of 35, 286, a touchdown in this game. You think Will Howard has it? Yeah, at home. I'm saying, do you think he has a better game than that? And you can add in his rushing yards if you want to. Yep. Because McCord didn't. I think he didn't have any rushing yards last year.
I think it's a low scoring game. I struggle.
It was 20-12 last year. So
I struggle to see how either quarterback has like an electric game. I think it's the same kind of game this year. I just think these are two elite defenses. I do believe for how good Drew has been throwing the football this year, that they are still limited on the outside. Like it's Tyler Warren, and that's really it. I think the receivers are good. I don't think they're elite. I think Ohio State's good enough to to slow down average receivers. Ohio State struggled because Oregon's offense is really damn good. Oregon has a good offensive line. Oregon has a good running back. Oregon has, as you just talked about, really good receivers on the outside. Penn State's not a complete team. They can run it. Their quarterback's playing at a high level, but the receivers are still lacking on the outside. I think Ohio State can slow that offense down. On the reverse side, Penn State at home with that defense and their speed going against an offensive line that is average, I'm not going to say really bad, but average is going to be a problem for that offense.
I think Happy Valley's got to be the difference here, dude. We've seen a lot of coin flip games this year in which it's like, man, on paper, these teams are pretty even, maybe even the visiting team slightly better, but we've seen it go the home team every single time, whether it's LSU Ole Miss, LSU A&M, Oregon, Ohio State. I'm trying to think, has there been a massive road upset? Georgia, Texas,
Alabama,
Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, that same thing. I would say, but Georgia getting it done in Austin would be the exception thus far on the season. But even Alabama, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Alabama. So home field advantage in these massive matchups has been critical. And I know that entering this year, this might have sounded weird, but right now, I'm kind of like, if you're Penn State, if not now, when? If you can't catch Ohio State now at home when you're playing this well. And I guess a lot of this is contingent on Aller's health. Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Like to me,
if he can play.
If Drew's healthy, I'd pick Penn State to win this football game. I think they're playing at that good of a level right now.
I think they're 3.5-point dogs at home. That seems very aggressive to me.
Ohio State's still the most talented roster in college football. Let's not forget that. I know they haven't looked like that at times, but they still are the most talented roster in all of college football. If Drew's healthy, I think Penn State wins. If Drew looks like he's protecting himself or he's not playing and Bo's the starting quarterback, I think Ohio State wins a football game.
Yeah.
I think it comes out. That's how much I think of Drew this season and what he's done.
I'll basically say the same where, I would play the plus 3.5. If Aller is the starting quarterback, Pribula is, then it's got to be a stay away spot because how can you know what he's going to do with a larger sample size?
First game starting on that stage against Ohio State in that defense.
And to be clear, when I make that pick, though, it's not. It is because of Drew, but it's really because of home field advantage.
Yeah.
I'm banking on the home field showing up here.
I agree.
All right, next up we got
Georgia,
Florida. Okay, I couldn't remember if it's Florida, Georgia, Florida. I was like, do you save the best for last, or does the winner get to go first? I know y'all are very particular about this thing. Oh, it's like a ladies first thing. Okay, Georgia, Florida. It's also not called the world's largest outdoor cocktail party anymore, right?
I think you can still say it. You can get away with it.
No, we can say it without getting in trouble, but I'm saying, is that not officially, does it have a new, how Red River Shootout became like Red River Rivalry?
I don't know what the new
name.
I don't know what the new name is, but yes, there is a new name.
Sorry, guys. You just got to fucking call a spade and call it the cocktail party. Yeah. If Aaron can't even give us what the actual name is, then the rebranding has been an epic failure. Anyway. Georgia, Florida. I don't know. Florida's playing better football, but I feel like I've seen this Florida Georgia game a billion times recently in the Kirby Smart era, and it's always Florida playing maybe a little frisky at first because there's a little emotion. Maybe Georgia comes out tight. But then Georgia just ends up dominating the game in the end. And I know this is a more flawed Georgia team than recent memory, but it's still a more flawed Florida team, even with the success and even with DJ Lagway. This feels pretty firmly Georgia to me.
Before I lay the obviously the pick that everyone knows I'm going to be going with in this game, not just because I went there, but because I think they're the better football team. Florida is improved. So I was on the call for the Florida Kentucky game a couple weeks ago. These are the positives for Florida right now. Let's go over the positives. Offensively, you have the best offensive line you've had in the past 3 years. You probably have the best depth at receiver that you've had in at least 2 or 3 years with Badger, Wilson, the other kid, Dyke. I think it's Dikey as well. You get speed, like legit speed. And I still don't know if I can trust fully Georgia's secondary because they had one really good game against Texas. It's impressive, but can you show it to me over multiple games? So like you have a better offensive line, you have more explosive guys on the outside, and I do think DJ Lackway is a superstar in the making. Like the guy is big, he's physical, he can run, he can push the ball vertically down the field, and he's played in some big time games this year on the road in Knoxville against a very good defense. We can agree on that. Against Kentucky, which is a pretty good defense, and he balled out in that game. So will the moment be too big for him? I don't know. It's a unique situation. It is a unique atmosphere. It's a really special game. I played in it 4 years. It's a pinch me moment type game, especially for a kid that's never been in this stadium in this type of environment. It's going to be kind of like, oh my God. But he has played a lot of football this year against good football teams. So to say that he doesn't have the talent or he hasn't shown on tape that he can compete, I think would be a lie. The kid's pretty damn good, but he can make some mistakes, and he probably will make some mistakes, and that's going to be the big difference. But hell, Carson's thrown 8 picks this year too. Carson, to me, hasn't shown that he can get
both quarterbacks. Actually, both quarterbacks with a 1-to-1 touchdown to pick ratio in SEC play. Carson's at 8.8, Lagway's at 5.5.
So, like, overall, Florida defensively has gone better. It's like
it just feels like you're setting up the argument for Florida plus 16.5 because you're not actually saying they're going to win the game.
No.
At the end of the day, you're just trying to give them flowers for improving.
I'm giving their flowers for improving. I'm giving Billy flowers for this is a good football team. And let's also say this. Georgia beat Kentucky by 1 point. Florida beat the living shit out of Kentucky.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I love a good law of transit sports properties more than most, but
if I'm a Georgia fan, which obviously I am, I just want to see in the bye week, is the offense improved in the pass game? Because I think ETN's a dude. I think the offense line's getting healthy. I think the defense has turned the corner. This is a team that if you want to win a national championship, the passing game has to get figured out. Did something happen in the off week that either Bobo changed some stuff up schematically when they did the self-scouting? Did Carson wake up and sell the Lamborghini and is focused on football? I don't know what it is, but something had to change in the bye week.
Is that your Kalen DeBoer wear a shirt? Hey Carson, sell that Lambo, okay? You're caring a little too much about your cyber truck, and you're a little not enough about your cyber iPad playbook. Get out the truck and back in the playbook, Carson.
Did you see AJ McCarron's little rant the other day?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Ryan Williams did paint his nails orange. I don't care about the painting of the nails. Painting them orange after losing to Tennessee is crazy. It's a step too far. But yeah, sell the Lambo, Carson, and you won't throw any more picks. I see that makes perfect sense.
It does make sense. And break up with the girlfriend while you're at it too. Just start from scratch.
Breaking up with the girlfriend. No. That's dangerous. No.
I will say this:
emotional instability in the middle of an SEC schedule, when maybe you need a rock when you're kind of going through it. You really think that's the
from experience, and I've been tempted to talk to Carson about this. I'm not gonna lie. I started dating a pseudo celebrity my senior year, and my focus was not all the way in like it was my first 3 years, to be honest.
Who's the pseudo celebrity that you started dating?
So you can look it up if you want to, but I will say you start dating some girl that has a lot of followers and Miss Fancy Pants.
Can I just get
not as focused
name so I don't have to Google Aaron Murray's pseudo celebrity girlfriend? What the fuck are you talking about? Is this not public knowledge?
Oh, it is public knowledge. Casey McDonald's her name. Her name is
Casey McDonald. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's Ronald's daughter. Is she heir to the McDonald's throne?
Casey McDonald.
I'm doing
not Donald. Not a D. Not a D. There's no D at the end. I was making sure her last name wasn't Donald. It was just Donald.
Oh, Casey McDonald from Clon McDonald. Okay. Yeah. Well, look. Is Carson dating a celebrity?
Yeah, he's dating one of the Cavalier twins.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Bro, he
Yes.
needs to get out of the Lambo and
And out
out
of
of the
that.
Cavallari twin and
Yes.
into the playbook,
Too many
Carson.
TikToks
Come
for him
on,
too.
dude.
I've seen way too many TikToks with him and her. Just oh man. Girls will do it to you. Girls will do it to you. Don't if you're a quarterback, don't date, man. Don't date. Unless it's like your high
uh,
school girlfriend.
I'm
Don't do
gonna
it.
I'm gonna disagree. I think if you have a good relationship, that's incredible because it's way more like drama free, and you have like a rock and somebody to fall back on when you're like not feeling good.
I don't know. I kind of felt like I was hot shit a little bit too much, probably.
Yeah, I mean, are you acting like you trying to bang anything with a pulse? Like was
It was
like
not
less
distracting.
distracting
No, it wasn't.
because it was
It
that
was
easy.
it was that easy. Like it was like they knew what they came for. They got it. They left. There was no commitment. There was no drama.
It is wild how
It
different our
was
college experiences were. What do you mean? There's no drama. They didn't
why
want to
was
like
there
what?
any drama?
They just wanted to hit it and quit it. Then like nobody wanted to
Yes.
like stay and hang around.
No. I was
You
a
didn't
busy
want to.
man.
They didn't want to.
I mean, maybe they did, but I never stayed. I like told them like, hey, like you can stay here if you want to, but I gotta go watch film. I gotta go work out. I gotta go do this. Like I ain't trying to hang. I'm sorry. Like I got shit I gotta do. Where if you're dating a girl, you can't like just like, hey babe, like appreciate that, but I'm gonna go leave now. Like no, you got to hang with them. It's like less time in the film room when you're dating
That
someone.
okay. Actually true. Actually
Yes.
true. Less time in the film room. A lot of college relationships, college girlfriends aren't going to be very understanding if you got to say you got to go
See,
watch film.
when I was single, I would just bring him into the quarterback room like in between film breaks. So I would just get a little break
That's
in the film room
absurd.
and then send them on their way and then get right back to film because I'm already there.
That's absurd. Just a little come and go in the film room.
Yeah.
Wow. There's got to be a good film pun that I'm missing because it's too late and my brain is fried. So
Georgia wins.
all of this saying that Georgia wins though, like because sometimes you can just be super reductive with things,
Yes.
and it's Billy Napier versus Kirby Smart, but more so than just that. I just watched Kirby Smart completely discombobulate Quinn Ewers in his own house
And Sark.
and Sark. And here you have DJ Lagway starting in this game for the first time. That like seems
But what gives Georgia problems?
insurmountable.
Mobile quarterbacks, not statues. Not statues.
And still, I'm just talking about from a game
I
planning,
know.
execution stage standpoint. Would you take Georgia to cover the 16.5? That's the way more interesting question.
That's where I'm torn right now. I think it's at the 17 now too. I'll take.
I would play Florida, but I know I'm going to be pissed when it doesn't work out.
I am too.
Like I honestly would bet Florida, but I would. It's probably a stay away for me because I just could be so mad when they like.
It's hard to trust Georgia offense right now.
I know.
It really is.
I know.
So it's
I
hard to
agree.
make this bet.
I agree.
Like if they turn the corner, they'll beat Florida. If Georgia shows up, they'll beat Florida by 30 points. If they've played the way they've played, they'll beat Florida by 14, 15 points. I'll take Florida with the points. I'll take Florida to cover 17.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Next to the list, the Texas A&M Aggies following up their massive win. Kind of a bit of a maybe a trappy spot here. You get the big win against LSU with that unreal second half, that explosion at home. Now you got to hit the road and go to Williams-Brice, take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. And, well, South Carolina is going to be preparing for two quarterbacks, no doubt about it. You are not going to catch them surprised with Marcel Reed the same way that LSU did. In fact, it's probably pretty bad that like we all just allowed ourselves, just like the same way when Wigman first left, we allowed ourselves to be like, oh, Wigman's just done. Like Marcel Reed's the obvious guy. And then he comes back and it's a good game against Mizzou. The coach defends him, and we're like, oh, okay, Marcel Reed's done. Like Wigman's the obvious guy. From now on, any team that's preparing for A&M, I mean, I think it should be Reed. I think it probably will be. But I guess my point is like nobody else should be taken by surprise. You there's no excuse to be taken by surprise.
I do not believe that you could put Wegman in right now and feel confident
Not
with
after
where
last
he is
game against
mentally.
that pass rush. I don't think so, dude.
Where he is mentally right now, you cannot put Wigman back in the football game. So I don't think USC is preparing at all to face Connor Wigman. I think it is 100% Marcel Reed is going to be their guy. We're preparing for this. It is a 7:30 game in that stadium, which is wild. And he is still a freshman quarterback who has played well this year, but not as well when he's been known to be the starter. I don't even think there's a track because I think USC is a good football team. USC, I had them early in the season. I thought they were god awful. I think I said on the show, I think they're the worst team in the SEC, and that is completely flipped. I think they are.
Well, they looked really bad that first week when you had them.
They did look really bad. They looked really bad. This team's a handful of plays away. We can say it's about 1 million teams, but there's a few teams that you can truly say are a handful of plays away from being 6-1. South Carolina is one of those teams. Lenoris is playing better.
Yeah, he's getting better.
He's coming off the bye. This defense is elite. This defensive line is elite. This defense line is going to have, just like we talked about Penn State, an incredible atmosphere. And how one-dimensional is Texas A&M going to be in this game? Do you trust Marcel Reed to throw the football? This is a big stage in a loud-ass environment, and it's I think Herb Street's going to be there. Everything is there for him to have a massive.
It is kind of a bad matchup for A&M.
It's a bad matchup for A&M. Bad matchup. Kennard, Stewart, Tonka breathing down on you. Listen, I've played in that same twice.
And A&M's O-line is pretty good.
Yeah.
But like they didn't really have success against LSU until the Marcel Reed factor came into play. And so with South Carolina knowing Marcel Reed's coming up, like I'm going to be very interested to see how that A&M O-line handles Stewart, Tonka, Kennard, and the rest of the crew there. Like you were just saying, like that. Ooh, what do you think about that? Because again,
versus Alabama, they held Alabama to 104 yards rushing, including sacks. Sacked Jalen 4 times. Jalen threw 2 picks.
But Alabama's O-line isn't that good. A&M's O-line is probably a little better than Bama's now.
A little bit, maybe a little bit. But Jalen's obviously much more experienced of a quarterback, and I would say a better runner than Marcel is.
Yeah.
And better overall players around them from a skill standpoint, especially at receiver. I think USC wins this football game, to be honest. I think they're playing some of the best defense in the country. I think the defensive line is the best defense line in the country. And that is a lot to ask for a freshman quarterback to go into this atmosphere and expecting the ball out. The difference is going to be, does Lenoris protect the football?
I was going to say, dude, this A&M defense can get after Lenoris Seller. So, dude.
I mean, it may be the first one to 14 wins this football game. I don't trust either offense to score. So if Lenoris at least is at home, he has played better. Can he protect the football? That's what lost the game versus Alabama was the fumble.
I mean, the South Carolina pick's interesting. Maybe I'm just this is a bit too hopeful because I want to feel better about LSU's. I mean, I'll go A&M. I'll go A&M here, and it's 2.5. So you're just saying go South Carolina money line.
I'm going South Carolina money line. Yes.
If I were to bet it, I would bet that with you because that's way more fun and would be a really nice hit. I'll say though, I think A&M wins. I don't know if I'd take the 2.5. Like if I was going to bet it, I'd just go ahead and do money line and roll with South Carolina. But I think A&M's going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we have Ole Miss and Arkansas. Arkansas, a good team, a mercurial team. Like you pointed out, Aaron, a couple weeks ago against LSU, the final score not really indicative of how a lot of that Arkansas game went.
Yep.
For 2.5 quarters, that was a pretty good game. And then kind of like, you know, it's spiraled after the week's play. Who do you actually think is the better team right now between these two?
I like Arkansas's offense. I really love where they are right now with Taylon Green. I think the past 3 weeks he has improved significantly. So he got banged up a couple weeks ago. It has been really forced to just be a passer and has improved significantly. And then finally got healthy last week, and you saw what he can do now as a more of a complete passer. Then the running dynamic on top of that. So he's playing really good football. And this freshman running back they have is a freaking hoss. The Braylon Russell kid, 250. He looked pretty good last week in his first start as well. So, they got Armstrong. They finally got the tight ends involved. So I think overall the offense, I like the offense. Ole Miss's defense obviously really good. So that's kind of that back and forth right there. Um, can he, just like we talked about with the Norse, can he just not make the big mistakes? Because that's what's hindered Arkansas. The same thing, 5-3 from being maybe 6-2. Should have won that Oklahoma State game. The pick six, a couple other mistakes. So he's cleaned that up a little bit, but still that's still a possibility of him making a mistake against a defense that's had 34 sacks that can get after you. A little intimidating. I still, flipping over to the other side, Arkansas's defensive backfield is not very good.
Yeah.
I've said that from the beginning of the season. It is not a very good defensive backfield. They gave up 309 yards passing last week to Mississippi State. Ole Miss should get after them, especially if Trey Harris is back in the lineup. But can they block up front?
See, that's the thing, though, is that Ole Miss's offense is suspect without Trey Harris.
Yes, he should be back though. He was questionable last week.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
I'm trying
to look up an update right now.
I didn't say anything earlier.
I mean, the leading receiver in the entire country. I mean, I remember what the splits were entering the game a couple weeks ago. I want to see how much of the Ole Miss production he still has accounted for, because it's pretty unbelievable.
No, he's
all right. Yeah. So he now has, and this is less extreme than it was a couple weeks ago, but he has 59 catches for 987 yards in 7 games. 8.5 catches a game, 141 a game. Caden Lee is next on this team with 31 catches. So actually, let's just go per game. Caden Lee averages half. It's 3.9, 8.4 in terms of receptions. And he averages 61 yards a game to Trey Harris's 141. Juice Wells, not any better. I mean, behind Caden Lee even. Like, pre-score, nothing really right home about this game. When they don't have Trey Harris, it doesn't seem like this offense is very good. And when they do, it seems like they're great. So if Trey Harris plays, I think Ole Miss wins this game on the road. I think, too, that I still love the Ole Miss defensive front.
I love the Ole Miss defensive front. I like the Ole Miss defense. I like their defense in general.
Yeah, and they'll get after Arkansas.
I agree.
Even on the road. I will take Ole Miss on the road here. What is the spread? Let's see.
Ole Miss is 7-point favorite. I'll take Arkansas with the 7.
Yeah, I'll take 7 for sure. I'll take the house at the 7 at home. Give me 7 at home.
I'll definitely take
11 a.m. I'll take 11 a.m. 7 at home for sure. Duke, Miami. I don't have a ton to say here. We'll touch on it real quickly. Miami's offense is awesome right now. Apparently, Malik Murphy, I've been watching Duke. Apparently, Malik Murphy's playing really well.
He's playing well. I just watched a couple of games earlier.
They just pushing to OT. SMU.
Yeah. He throws a howitzer. That's about all he has. But they got 3 really good receivers. The Moore, Pankel, Brown. The problem is they just can't run the football. I mean, it's all on him. Like, he has to be. It's a lot of quick game. Then they'll take some shots, a lot of inside fades. So, yes, he has played really well this year, but I just think that it's a little bit too one-dimensional where I know Miami's weakness is a little bit the secondary, but at least they can prepare like, hey, just keep everything in front, hopefully rally and tackle. But I think that's going to be the big question. Can Miami rally and tackle in this football game from the secondary?
See, I don't think that Miami defensive analysis matters.
No, I don't either.
Everybody left on the regular season schedule, Miami's going to put up like 40 against, unless somebody surprises me and catches them with their pants down, because if they can do that against some of
But
the teams,
they've had a couple games. They've had a couple games where teams have surprised them with their pants down a little bit, but they're able to pull it back up though.
No. But the offense never got surprised. I mean, maybe they needed late scores.
Versus Cal.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but look at the total number of points, bro. They scored like 20 something in the fourth to win.
Yes, but they were surprised for a while. I'm saying, like, it's still possible.
But I mean, okay, so you pantsed him, but they got him back up. Like, I don't know. I feel like
I get it. Look at their schedule this year: 41, 56, 62, 50, 38, 39, 52, 36.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And like Louisville's got a pretty good defense. They got that badass pass rusher.
And Duke hasn't faced, and the one thing, like I was watching Duke SMU from last week. SMU, very one-dimensional, a running football team. And then I went back, I was like, okay, who else have they played? Because you look at the stats, like, oh, Duke is, they're pretty good. I think they're number one pass defense in the ACC. So I was like, all right, I'm kind of getting a feel of a good defense, but this is SMU. They really just only run the football. Quarterback's not a big-time thrower. And you go back. This is their schedule this year. Elon, NU, UConn, Mississippi or Middle Tennessee State, UNC, who's not a good team this year, Georgia Tech's a running football team, and FSU can't throw the football either, and then SMU's a running football team. They have yet to face a team that can throw the football. So
Cam Ward's about to pop the fuck off. Yeah. And at home, I wonder if people will be there. I'm gonna look at the Miami crowds later. Has it been full?
No, they're not gonna show up for Duke.
I mean, not for an undefeated team on the verge of the playoffs.
No, it's Duke. They don't care.
This is Miami minus 20.
I'll take Duke.
Give me the 20. Give me Miami minus 20.
I'll take Duke.
All about the U. Next on the list, Oregon, Michigan. I mean, two teams heading in the complete opposite direction. Whatever I thought Michigan maybe had at the beginning of the year with Will Johnson and Mason Graham, Coleman, I always forget the other badass D tackle's name for some reason. But whatever I thought they maybe had defensively at the beginning of the year, the offense is so putrid that it just doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to be able, I mean, even the best defenses in the country probably can't stop, at least certainly not completely, Dylan Gabriel and this Duck offense right now and how well they seem to be playing. And then what happens when Michigan can't score more than 10 points because they can't throw a forward pass?
Well, they can't get past the 50-yard line. Davis Warren back at quarterback. Jack,
we love it. We love Davis Warren's story.
Love his story. Jack Tuttle retired yesterday. He is.
He just retired?
Yep, he retired. No mas.
Bro, you can't quit on the team in the middle of the year?
I think he had some medical issues, you jackass.
Oh. I mean, how's I supposed to know that? You're the one that fucking said retired. You could have said medically retired. You kind of set me up there.
I did. No, he just quit. He said, this offense fucking sucks so bad, I can't save it.
I mean, that's what it felt like to me. He's like, oh, you're bitching me? Oh, well, joke's on you. This shit fucking sucks anyway. I'm out of this bitch.
So Davis Warren back, played well versus Michigan State, but yeah, I don't trust it against that defense. Oregon's just, they're at the point right now where nothing's really going to slow them down on both sides of the football. So I don't know. What's the spread on this one?
Oh, let me look. Let me get my strong hand out real quick and just start tapping.
Oregon is a 14.5. I'd take Oregon. I lay those points.
Yeah. Even on the road, but yeah. Even on the road.
What did Texas beat Michigan? 31-12?
And like, how good is Texas's offense?
In that game, Davis Warren was 22 of 33, 2 of 4, 1 tutty, 2 picks.
I mean, that's a lot of passes. That's a lot more completions than I thought he'd have, honestly. 22 of 34. Watch out, D-dubs. Wait,
but they only ran the ball for 80 yards.
How good do we think Texas's offense is?
Definitely slipping right now.
And obviously good, guys. If you're listening, you know what I mean. I mean, like, we thought they were maybe like, elite tier, God tier, but like, it's just been a little mistake. It's been a little sloppy. It's been a little funky at times this year. So we both like Oregon big there.
Yep.
And then finally, one of the most surprisingly exciting matchups in terms of what they've done so far this year. There are 4 undefeated teams in ACC conference play right now, and it's Clemson, it's Miami, and then it's the undercard, Pitt, going to Dallas to take on SMU. I gotta be honest. I watched like a little bit of SMU Louisville this year. I think it's the only time I really checked in on them. But I've watched a surprising amount of Pitt, and it's because of Eli Holstein. He went to high school in Louisiana, and I just don't know why. I always remember his name, and I think he's such a great example of like what the transfer portal can do in terms of giving guys second chances, and now looking at the success that him and Pitt are having. But you're saying he's questionable. How questionable are we talking about here?
It seems like it's kind of the coach playing it close to the vest. So I don't know if he's going to play, but doesn't want to say it. But I don't know. Who knows?
So you don't
Game
have
time
any
decision.
insight. You don't have any insight.
Drew
info
Aller
here?
situation. Not going to let you know till the game time.
So right now, Eli Holstein, 5th in the AC, 17 tuds, only 5 picks. So over 260 a game, 8.5 yards attempt, 64% completion. The kid's and then this is what always gets me about Holstein, Aaron. He averages 8 carries for 40 yards a game on the ground. So, and that's with sacks factored in. So, like, he's a big dude that is able to get down his arms. Like, he's only a redshirt freshman. He might. You think he stays at Pitt his whole career? He could have a big old fat payday coming.
He got big old fat pay. Miami.
Yeah, for real, right? No
Miami.
doubt. Yeah.
Miami needs a quarterback.
I'll say this, even though following up Cam Ward after winning the Heisman might be hard. Is that a bug on me? No, I don't think so.
Travis is going to win the Heisman.
I think I don't know much about SMU, and I kind of like Narduzzi and Pitt. And honestly, I've always really liked Pitt's uniforms. I think those colors are great. And I know anybody that's ever heard me say I like WVUs, like, what the fuck, TBob? That's really fucked up. You'd say you like Pitt, but like, I'm a man of contradictions, like most men are, full of paradoxes. And so, yeah, I'm kind of pulling for Pitt here. Also, one thing about Pitt is they've won games in a lot of different ways this year. It's not always just been Holstein. There's been big dominant offensive performances. There's been late comebacks. There's been defensive battles. Like, I think with Cal, their defense basically won. That was like 17-15.
Their defense last week had 6 picks.
Well, yeah, that was just crazy.
Picks.
That was just crazy. They had like 3 pick sixes, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cal McCord threw 3 pick sixes to 3 different linebackers. But he's been good.
He's been great to that moment.
It's just he was like me on NCAA, dude. He just started to tilt. He just fucking kept tilting.
We need to play a game again soon.
Don't do that with me, because I've offered multiple times, and you have not even you haven't even entertained it. You just do that thing where you don't pay attention to me, and you're like, oh, and then you just move on and talk about something else. It's called. Look, I ain't one of these little bitches trying to fuck you in your fucking film room, okay? So you ain't gonna use those techniques on me, bitch.
Come on,
just know I see you.
Come over, TBob.
I see you.
Come hang out.
No, because I didn't come last time, and so I'm not coming back, okay? Until you get your shit straight.
They always come.
Let's see. We put it on the lie detector, and our results have determined that's a lie.
Damn. Fucking SMU's a 7.5-point favorite.
Give me the Panthers.
I'll take the Panthers at 7.5.
Yeah. I don't know geography well. I feel like this is a long trip.
It's a long
Pittsburgh
trip.
to Dallas, right?
Yes, it's a long trip.
Might be a little hot. Might be a little weird. Eli Holstein from Louisiana, though. No stranger to the heat. I mean, again, guys, I don't know much about SMU, so I'm just saying Pitt because I like him. But I'll definitely play Pitt with the points here for fun.
I'll play Pitt with the points here, too.
So you won't, because you don't gamble anymore. So, joke's on you. So
all right.
Money in the account, too.
Have fun in Disney. I will be doing a live show Thursday with a guest, most likely, as TBob is going to be hanging out with Mickey somewhere. Jealous.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
If you hear, at the time you're hearing this, I'm probably, balls deep into a 10-hour drive with 3 kids under 6 in the car. So
pray for you, buddy.
Wish me luck, dude.
Good luck.
Wish me luck. All right, guys. Love y'all. Hey, guys, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. The road to 27K starts. We hit 26.1. We love incremental milestones. We want to stay on schedule, stay ahead of the chain. So keep sharing it, subbing, liking, all that good stuff. Snaps, college football, your favorite show. All right, Aaron, I'll talk to you later. Later, guys. See you on the
Peace.
next episode.